Hello my loves, welcome again to my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed my last video and I hope you guys will also enjoy this one. Welcome back. Please subscribe to my channel, please like, please share, please comment, and so let's get into it. So today's video is all about the study material. So if you did watch my previous video, I was teaching you guys in terms of what you need to do, the preparations, what you need to prepare, or what you need to do in order for you to prepare for your RE5 exam. So one of the things that I did share on that video is the fact that you need to download your study material. And after downloading your study material, so this is exactly what this video is all about. I want to share with you guys what do you do after downloading your study materials, the things that you need to avoid, the things that you need to study, the things that are being asked into the exam. So this video is all about that. Alright, I hope you guys are ready, and I hope you guys have your pens, your papers, and I hope you guys are listening, and I hope you guys will apply what I will be teaching you. So let's get into it. So the study material has 8 chapters. Into those 8 chapters, it has got 307 pages. So bear in mind, you have to study everything that is there. You have to know exactly what is being told, what the study material is all about. But one thing that I need to let you know, guys, I wanna give you some shortcuts, or I wanna give you some heads up in terms of what is it that you need to avoid. I will be going through chapter by chapter, explaining exactly the things that you need to do. Okay. The following pages, please do not waste your time and read them. You can read them for maybe your understanding, but trust me, they are not being asked into the exams. I'm just letting you know what is being requested into the exam. But if you want to know, or you are curious, or you want to study them, you can go ahead. So page 20, so on your chapter 1, page 28, 29, 30, 41, 42, 43, 44, up until 59. Those pages, please do not read them. You can read them if you want to, but they are not being asked into the exam. So please read everything that is on to chapter 2. Do not skip anything. Do not skip any page. Read everything that is into chapter 2. Alright. And then chapter 3. Please read everything into the study material. Even though I am letting you guys know the shortcuts, I am not saying do not read the whole of your study material. What I'm meaning is that there are shortcuts that you can apply. Okay, what I mean to say is that these are the things that will be required into the exam. I'm not saying do not read your study material. So chapter 3 is your RE1, okay, and you will be writing your RE5. So chapter 3 it's not required that much, but I'm not saying do not study for chapter 3, because it is also important. You need to know what a key individual is. You have to know what do they do. So you need to have an understanding, because it will be asked into the exam, but they do not ask a lot onto that chapter, but you need to know and you need to understand. And then you have to read everything that is into chapter 3. You have to understand it, and so that you can be able to write your exam. And then we have chapter 4. Chapter 4 is the most important chapter into your study material. Chapter 4 is the law. So if before there is any representative, before anything that was made, there is the law. You need to know the law as a representative. You can go and write your exam, you have to pass it, but if you do not know the law, you cannot be able to work into the financial industry, because it's all about knowing the law. You need to know most of the questions. I would say 70 to 80% of the questions that are being asked into the exam come from the code of conduct. You need to know. I have to stress this. You need to read the code, the General Code of Conduct, Chapter 4. It is the shortest chapter into that material, but you need to know it very well. You need to study for it, guys. You need to know that chapter. There is nothing that you need to skip. You need to understand it. It's very short. It's very challenging, and you need to know. You need to know chapter 4 with all your heart and with all your soul, because, honey, if you do not know chapter 4, you are doomed. And then chapter 5, it's also important. Please read everything that is into chapter 5. Everything that is there, it is really important. There's nothing that you need to take out, or there is nothing that I would say it's not important into chapter 5. Everything that is there. Chapter 6, same applies. You need to know, you need to understand, you need to take more time into reading it. And then chapter 7, same applies. Read everything that's there. Chapter 8, so the material on its own, the exam on its own, it's about chapter 8, the last chapter. It's all about the representative, because you will be writing RE5, which means that you will be writing an exam for the representative, and most of the things that a representative need, they are into chapter 8. So the study material in its own, the exam itself, is all about chapter 8. You need to know what everything that is into that chapter. You have to know it. You have to reread it again and again and again and again. It's the same applies with the General Code of Conduct. You have to make sure that you understand everything that is there. You do not skip. It's also one of the longest chapters into the material, but please take time. Do not rush yourself. Do not be hard on yourself. Make sure maybe at least you study 2 times a day. It can be during the day and late at night, or maybe try to read an hour in the morning, 1 hour later on. At least you have read 2 hours. I am not saying people should put pressure on themselves and have sleepless nights. Just do what works for you. If you know that you can you study well at night, do that. If you know that you study well during the day, do that. But one thing that I'm going to stress is that people mustn't pressure themselves or mustn't try to cram. It doesn't work, guys. You need to know, you need to understand in order for you to pass the exam. If you go with the mentality of cramming and with the mentality of being hard on yourself, because it does happen that you study, but when you get to the exam, you forget some of the things. You have to read the material, go through it over and over and over again until you understand exactly what is being asked. Okay, so that is basically that. I want to stress on to the chapters that really need your, like they are being asked a lot into the exam. You have to reread them and over and over and over again until you get them. With the other chapters, they are also important, but they are not important as the following chapters that I'm going to give you guys. The General Code of Conduct, it's one topic that you have to know it, you have to understand it, because it's the law. You have to make sure that you understand that chapter. It happens that 80% of the questions that are being asked are from chapter 4. It happens that sometimes it's 60%, sometimes but most of the time it's always chapter 4. Chapter 2, make sure that you also understand chapter 2, which is all about, chapter 2 is about the license itself. You need to know and you have to understand. you need to read more and more, and you need to dwell onto chapter 2. What is the other chapter? That chapter 8, the last chapter. Please read that chapter with all your soul, with all your heart. Make sure that you understand it very well. What is the other one? So it's chapter 2, it is chapter 4, it is chapter 5 also. Chapter 5 also is important. Chapter 7 and 8, they are also important. I'm not saying other chapters are not important, but I'm saying those ones are the ones that are being asked the most into the exam. Please spend more of your time reading those chapters, I beg you guys. So that is on the study material. That is basically that. That is basically what I wanted to share